another exciting episode of Live With. It is August 13th, 2015, and I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and I'm sitting here in the studio now with our guest of the night, IFBB Tampa Pro champ, Maxx Charles. Welcome, man.
Thank you.
Now, you've, a lot of people would think the contest diet leading up to the Tampa Pro would be the hardest thing you've done, but I understand you just had a root canal done in your mouth.
Yeah, just had a root canal done. So if you see me, I can get a little bit out of it. So that's
we like that. It might take you out of your shell a little. You're a quiet guy.
I don't really have much in me right now. So.
No. But you're a quiet guy by nature, aren't you?
Yeah, by nature I'm very quiet, stays to myself. So people think that as me being mean, but it's just I'm very introverted.
Mm-hmm. Now, why is that? Were you always like that as a child, or is that just your personality?
That's my personality. I've always been like that as a child. And I don't really see, I always make some kind of effort to not be so much of that, simply for the reason that people misread that for me being mean or being an asshole or whatever. So I always try to be a little more friendly towards people, like trying to go out of my way to not be that. But naturally, I'm a person that like to keep to myself. So I figure that if I keep to myself too much, people think that always because I'm full of myself. Meanwhile, it's completely the opposite. I just like to keep to myself.
Are you insecure? Is that why you do that?
No, not at all. Insecurity, that's when you're unhappy with yourself. That's nothing to do with that.
No.
Just, I'm comfortable with the way I am. So, if you feel like doing something, you do it.
Right.
I don't feel like most people do, just acting up, to me, honestly, when I was younger, the way I saw people acting, I actually thought that they were doing things just to please other people. Even the words that they would say, it's almost like, okay, they're only saying that just to be cool with a certain group of people. And I never felt that necessity to be like that because I've always felt comfortable with who I am.
You thought it was inauthentic, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
I can understand that.
Because I never felt that I had to impress anyone.
But I'll tell you, when I first saw you at Bev's gym walking around there with that huge sweatshirt that you wear in the gym, people didn't know who you were. And I think people didn't know what you were about because you hadn't really been competing at that point. And then I think when you did your first show, everyone realized this guy's for real.
Yeah.
Did you like that when you first did your show and people said, holy mackerel, this guy is really good? I think you dieted like 2 weeks or something like that?
I dieted for... it's 2 weeks, but it wasn't just like a regular 2 weeks diet. It was just like a freaking crazy 2 weeks diet where I went from living a normal life with eating, drinking, like I told you, a whole bunch of soda.
Yeah.
Like 24/7, I'm always drinking sugar and eating normal food. And went from that to not drinking nothing at all. Just dropped everything and just eating only chicken breast. Right. I've never eaten chicken breast for any other reason. No. I've never tasted chicken breast.
You don't even like chicken breast?
No, I don't like it. Somebody told me if you want to go on a diet, you want to get in shape, you have to only eat chicken breast. I was like, okay, what else can I eat? He said, oh, only chicken breast. I said, that's it? He said, yeah, just chicken breast. I said, okay, chicken breast. I did that for 2 weeks. After that 2 weeks, I feel like I was going to die. It was, after the show was over, I said to the person, how come you told me to only eat chicken breast and other people say I could have a little bit of sweet potato and a little bit of rice?
Sure.
He said, yeah, I did tell you to have a little bit. I said, no, you never told me to have nothing else.
Oh, so you legitimately only ate chicken? That was it?
Yeah, only
How
chicken.
many times a day?
Oh, for all my meals.
Oh.
I was like, man, you could have killed me, man.
So you legitimately, and people don't realize this, but you legitimately really didn't know much about how to contest diet or anything. You just knew about lifting.
I only know about lifting. I didn't even know that you had to diet to do a show.
Really?
I used to watch people in the magazine. I thought that they always look like that all year round. So that's why I used to train pretty hard, pretty heavy. So I thought I could attain that physique by not doing anything but training.
And you're not lying about this. I know that this is legitimately what you thought. People figured because you were so big that you had a whole program at home that you were following, but you legitimately ate what you want. You drank regular soda, and we've had this interview before, and people didn't believe it, but I believe it.
It's all depends what you went to. I'm in love with training and working out. So as long as I get up, I pick up my gym bag and I go to the gym and I train. Everything else that other people worry about is not something that even crossed my mind, because my main passion was training, nothing else, just training. So basically, I would just go to the gym and train, and I wouldn't follow anything else besides training. So I'll probably open a magazine, and the only thing I would look for in the magazine is a tip about training. I wouldn't try to follow anything that have to do with nutrition. I'll just like, whatever, it's just food. Yeah. But anything with training, then I'll read it.
But you grew eating anything you wanted, pretty much.
Yeah, I was able to.
You were lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
Did you say, did you finally say to yourself, you know what, nutrition is important, and I got to start organizing myself a little better if I want to attain pro status, which I guess was your goal at the time?
I've learned from other people, because even from learning from other guys that was coming up like I was, which I've always tell other people, like if you listen to most guys that had make really good progress, all of them have similar stories. Like, yeah, I didn't miss 1 meal for like 1 year. I didn't miss 1 meal for like 2 years. I was like, damn, if this guy is not gonna miss 1 meal for 1 year or 2 years, and me, I can barely have 2 or 3 meals a day.
Right.
I said, no, I can. That's not an excuse. I said, if this guy can literally not miss 1 meal for 2 years, I was like, that sounds crazy to me.
Yeah.
But you look at them, you see they make a lot of progress,
Right.
and it always by how much they keep up with what they got to do.
What year was it that you started regimenting your eating like that?
I would say 2010, right before, toward the end of 2010.
Okay, so and then a year and a half later at the Nationals.
At the National, yeah. That's
you
why
turned pro.
That year, my plan was for 2010 was to do the National that year.
Mm-hmm.
But because I wasn't really where I wanted to be, so that's why I figured out, you know what, I need to take another year to eat the way I need to eat and make the kind of progress that I need to make,
Sure.
and then step on a national stage. I wasn't going to step on a national stage until I feel like I have a good chance of winning, not just to place, just winning.
And you were second at the 2011 Nationals.
Yes.
And, so for you must have said, all right, one more year, and that's it, I'm going to get it. Following year, you wind up placing third at the USA. I know that probably was upset.
Yeah, big time,
Yeah.
because my first time there, I placed better than my second time.
Yeah.
That's like, I was like, what? I was like, nah.
Was that discouraging for you?
No, I never get discouraged.
No?
Because I know my potential. Like where I place, never going to discourage me. Because I do feel, like I always go back and see what I did wrong, and I always look at pictures and see what I need to work on. I'm very realistic and honest with myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I never get discouraged because I feel that I have the potential to transform my body to whatever I want it to be. Mm-hmm. So as long as I'm honest with myself and look at myself and say, okay, you know what, you need to get this better and get that better, I can never get discouraged because I know I can go to work and make what I need to get better, get better.
What do you think improved the most from 2010 to 2000, I guess you could say 13 when you turned pro?
Definitely. Overall, I think I've improved on kind of balance my physique better, which is bring up my legs. Mm-hmm. Not to a crazy level, but I think it might not really show to most people, but I think what really improved on me the most was I learned how to polish my physique better. Mm-hmm. Because if you really pay attention to what I look like in 2011 compared to 2013, 2011 I actually thought I looked really, really good, like freakish.
You did.
For my first show, for my first national show. But it was not, the physique itself was not well polished itself to really be, like I wanted to, when I turned pro, to be like, okay, I can take this guy and throw him on a pro stage. At that time I didn't feel like I was that guy.
Gotcha. So you feel like maybe you were an imposter at first. The following year, obviously, you felt like you were coming into your own. Now, when you did that first show, that Eastern USA, I remember, I don't even think you knew how to pose. Weren't they showing you how to pose backstage?
You're asking me all this question that's going to make me look stupid now.
It's not going to make you look stupid because you legitimately didn't know how to do this stuff.
I didn't even know you had to pose.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't know. There's a lot of things I didn't know about bodybuilding because I actually thought that it was all about your physique. You just walk up on stage, you look at your physique, you say, okay, this. You go back, and another guy comes.
Had you ever even watched a bodybuilding show before competing? Tell me the truth.
I've seen people not really on stage going head to head. I've seen people having interviews after they won, but I never really know what they go through to actually win. I've watched a lot of videos with guys having interviews. Like I used to watch a lot of videos of Dorian, like when he's training, and his video after he won. I remember those. I remember seeing a few videos of him when he won because I remember the first thing I noticed, like, freaking, what the hell is up with his lats? I saw him one time sitting like just doing an interview, and the only thing I could see is freaking lats just stood out like that. Yeah. So yeah, those I used to see people doing interviews, but as far as just on stage, going for a battle, no, I've never watched those. Well,
talking about lats, you have probably the best lats in bodybuilding, I would say, right now. And, when I see you up on stage, actually, when I see it in clothes, you wear the biggest clothes. I don't even know how they get clothes to fit you because your back is so big. There's no way you could wear. Do you have a suit that fits you?
In order for me to get any suit, obviously, I have to get
custom made.
Custom made. Yeah, as far as me, I even go to any kind of store. I got the biggest, like a size 70 something, and it still doesn't fit. If it's so it's not my arms, it's something. It just don't fit.
Yeah, I mean, you have freakish proportion, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your legs, because everyone always says Max has got the greatest upper body if he can only bring his legs up. That's
not gonna be for long.
No?
Nah.
Why? What has changed?
Well, I've made tremendous changes on my leg, which still I think I can still keep making.
Why?
progress.
Why have your legs improved? I've noticed it too. Your legs have gotten better the past 2 years. Why? What do you think? Have you changed your training?
I changed completely the way I used to train, the way I approach my training, the way I train it's a whole different aspect. I don't believe like everybody think like you have to do crazy squat. This is what I used to do before, and it never worked. Actually, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and he was telling me that, oh, maybe you should go back and do this something that you used to do, which is because he was giving me compliment how my leg has improved. And he was telling me like, yo, maybe you should try to do. After he finished giving me a compliment about how my leg has improved, then he goes to say maybe I should go back and use 4 range like I used to. I was like, I used to do 4 range. He said, yeah, remember how you used to do those front squat, and then you go all the way down, and then you go all the way up, and then you wouldn't stop until you're completely done, and you just drop the weight. I said, yeah, and my leg looked like shit. So wouldn't that tell you that that's something I should not supposed to be? And he was like, yeah, you're right. See, this is the kind of mentality. People are so stuck on like 4 range work.
Doesn't work for you.
No, it doesn't work for me.
Why not? What do you do? What do you like to do? What kind of partial range works ideally for you?
To me, I don't just do partial range. I just focus on keeping the tension on the muscle.
Gotcha.
Just doing partial range is not really what I publicize to people. Just because then it wouldn't make any sense. If you're doing some bullshit, 4 range is bullshit. If you're doing some bullshit, half range is still bullshit. My main thing is just to keep tension, full tension on the muscle.
So you feel
do
it
not
more.
Get the tension off of it. Yeah, I feel it 100%. Every single rep have to count.
You do it on the leg press, or do you squat partial range too?
I focus mainly on leg press, but towards the end of my workout, just to complete it, I just do a little bit of squat. Nothing crazy.
Lighter squats?
Yeah. I still do squat.
What's light for you? I'm afraid to ask.
Maybe 4 plates, nothing crazy.
That's still a lot of weight for some people. But
that's
what will you do on the leg press? Will you do very heavy weight on that?
I go to the max.
Like you load that thing up?
Yeah, and I do a lot of reps. Sometimes I go up to 100 reps.
100 rep sets?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you do it to the point where you feel the movement?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it hard to break out of the conventions of what normal? Because a lot of people say that you should do things this way, you should eat that way, you should do this. You're always a guy who's kind of done it your own way, and you've been successful with it.
I like to challenge myself, and I like to experiment different things. And I have a reason for everything that I do. It's not like just like people think I just go to the gym and I do half range and I do this and I do that. I don't just do things like that, because I know some people say, oh, so and so do this, so and so do that. Like I always think to myself, I also have a brain, so I can also think for myself and think what works, what doesn't work. Because I also know how the body works, how the mechanics of the body work. So if I just approach it that way, then I can figure out for myself what will work for me, instead of doing everything the same thing that everybody else is doing.
Will we ever see a Max Charles training system come out at some point where you actually have write down all your secrets?
That would be very rare.
Maybe when you retire.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now you were third in New York this year, obviously behind
I'm very happy.
Big Ramy and then Juan Morel.
Now Juan and Victor.
Victor and Ron. He's correcting me
if
now.
Ramy was there, then I'll be fourth.
And now let me ask you this question: after New York, obviously, you didn't feel like you accomplished what you needed to. Was Tampa always the plan?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now going into Tampa, the lineup was good. You have Johnny Jackson, you have Fouad Abiad in that lineup. Yes. Did you think that you had a good shot at winning it? And be honest.
I don't think I've ever, so far, honestly, I don't think I've ever done any show. I mean, I think each show that I do, I feel like I have a better chance of winning than others, but I've always gone into every show with the intention of winning.
Gotcha.
And
so you were confident?
Yes. So basically going into Tampa, my only determination was to win.
Now, after prejudging, I saw the scorecards. It was like a 1 point separating you and 1 point separating Johnny and Fouad. So it had to be close going into the night show. Did anyone give you any advice or anything, make any changes to you and say, hey, do this going into the night show?
They just told me to be more aggressive. That was the main thing, is just to act like I wanted. Feel like that brings us back to what I was saying earlier about the fact that I like to keep to myself. Even on stage, when I'm on stage, since people always assume that I'm so mean, I'm naturally aggressive when I get in confrontation. But since people always say, hey, this guy looks so mean and stuff like that, so when I'm on stage, I try not to be that way because I don't want people to have the perception that that's who I am. So I kind of back off a little bit. So now it turned out to be a problem because people looking at me, oh, this guy, he's on stage like he doesn't even want to fight for what he wants.
Right.
I'm like, oh, no, that's not what it is. If you really want me to be aggressive, that come natural.
Now, you have one of the most dangerous, most muscular poses in bodybuilding. I think I was quoted as saying that your hands on hip most muscular might be the best ever in bodybuilding.
Thank you.
You know, knowing that when they call that most muscular shot and you know you get a chance to hit that thing and you know you're going to dominate.
My main thing is always like, if you keep me in the middle all the way to most muscular, then I know I'm basically whooping your ass.
Okay, so you know when we get down to that, you got it.
I don't worry. I know you're not going to beat me on most muscular. Yeah, I'm pretty confident about my muscle.
Now, when you get the win and they call you out for the win, were you surprised? I mean, when they got down to two guys, you and Fouad, I mean, when they heard your name, were you elated inside?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I knew that I was going to win, but because Fouad just got 2 wins.
Sure.
So, of course, I still felt that he's going to have the upper hand over me.
Right.
But then again, I came in with my mindset on winning. I put on a battle, and I was hoping for the win. So when it came down to me and him, I'm just like, yeah, I hope to get it. So when they called out my name, it was like, I think I was more confident before they called my name, after they called my name. I felt like it was more surreal after they called my name than before they did. I think before they called my name, I felt that maybe they would. But when they did, then I felt like, nah, it's not me. I think I'll probably be dreaming that they're calling my name.
Did you tear up a little bit?
Nah, I don't think I'll ever cry.
Yeah.
If I could, I would.
Yeah?
I'm not.
You're not a crier?
Nah.
I would have cried if I
only cried
I
one time. That's when my uncle died, so I had to cry.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't cry much.
Now, you qualified for the Olympia automatically. You probably would have made it anyway on points, but how does it feel knowing you won a show, you're going into the Olympia with a lot of momentum? There is some shows left this year. Are you kind of just concentrating exclusively on the Olympia now?
Yes, of course, Olympia.
Not going to do Atlantic City?
Yeah, because I still hold a 9-to-5 job, so it's not like I can just hop around, just do shows whenever I want. Anyway.
Yeah. You got to sneak out of work to get over to the shows.
We're not, I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, going to the Olympia is obviously got to be a dream of yours. You're going to be going against Kai Green and Phil Heath. These are guys you probably admired coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to be on stage with people that I'm basically fans of.
So, is that difficult?
Nah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Nah, of course.
It's not intimidating, though?
No.
No.
See, I want to stand next to them and see what's up.
Right.
I look up to them. So now it's time for me to size them up.
Who is the guy you want to stand most to next?
I mean, my favorite bodybuilder of all time is Dexter Jackson.
Okay.
So I guess I would like to kind of elbow him a little bit.
Yeah, you like give him a little jab.
Just one time before he retired, just so I stand on stage next to Dexter.
To let him know that you're here.
Yeah.
Now, obviously Phil Heath has shown some vulnerability over the last 2 years or so. It's been pretty close, his wins. Kai Green nipping on his heels, obviously Sean Roden coming up. Where do you see, what would you be happy with leaving the Olympia with? If after when the Olympia is all said and done, obviously we all want to win, but what would be a place and you say, you know what, I accomplished my goal?
Realistically, anywhere in the top 10.
Okay.
That's what I'm aiming for. I'm hoping for that.
What I know you very rarely, I don't even know if you've ever worked with a trainer, so to speak, getting ready for a show. This year you worked with Chris Aceto. Yes. How did that come about?
I did the end of my New York Pro Prep all by myself, and that was pretty much hectic and just trying to figure everything out for yourself. And the last couple of days you keep doubting yourself. It's like you can't make up your mind about things. And going into Tampa, actually I hit Chris up 2 weeks before New York Pro. Because I was going through so much confusion doing New York. I was like, the next show that I do, I don't really want to go into that again. So 2 weeks before I went into New York, and I hit him up. I said, yo, can you help me with Tampa? He said, oh, ain't you going to do New York? I said, yeah, I'm going to do New York. I think he was probably thinking, like, you doing New York, it's like you're already giving up. So I'm not giving up. It's just like I'm being realistic. I just know that I have a better chance in Tampa than New York. So you have to have plans. So my plan was go to New York and see if I win, I win. But if I don't, my next step would be Tampa. And I know that I needed somebody to guide me for Tampa, so I reached out to him.
Was it difficult to listen to someone who's going to say, do this, do that, do this?
It could be, but to Chris it's not. because everything he says make perfect sense. So if you're listening to somebody that knows what they're talking about, it's not, to me, it's not hard.
Now, Chris told me something about you. He said that when I first started talking with Maxx Charles, he's like, Max asked me, he said, is there any way I could incorporate rice and beans into my diet? He goes, because I love rice and beans. Did you say that to Chris?
That's what I'm Haitian, man. That's
Yeah.
what I eat. You know, when
That's your favorite diet food, he
when
said.
Chris, when I give guys like the cheat meals and stuff like that, I know people want to go ice cream, all kind of crazy stuff. I said, no, just give me some extra rice and beans.
And that's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Wow.
Whenever I want to have a cheat meal, that's what I'll just eat extra rice and beans.
Now that you've worked with Chris, is this like a sealed, signed relationship now?
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
are set now
yeah,
for the Olympia?
Yeah.
Now, is it true that Cedric McMillan kind of hooked you guys up?
Yes, when that's why I spoke to Cedric. I was like, yo, I would like to work with Chris. So would you put me in contact with him? So he hooked it up.
Now, obviously, Cedric, I think that, according to Chris, you're way easier to work with than Cedric is, because Cedric's got a lot of his own theories and philosophies. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know much about that.
Do you feel with Chris's, aid, his coaching on your side, that you'll be able to be a better bodybuilder?
Of course. I mean, that's why I have him.
If you were giving advice out to the public out there, would you advise people, especially at an elite level, to have a coach? Is it better? I mean, you've done it both ways.
I mean, to me, it's better. I mean, I cannot tell everybody's better. I mean, depending what kind of mindset you have. Some people are stubborn; they don't want to listen to nobody, and they think they know better than everybody.
Sure.
If that's your mindset, you already know. Because I've seen people work with other people, and they don't even listen to them.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have a coach and you're not gonna listen to them, then by all means, just do your own thing. But if you need somebody to really guide you and show you the right direction and get you better, then most of the time you need somebody else to really help you do that. A lot of times you can do that on your own, because no matter how much you know, you need that person that knows something to guide you. It doesn't really matter how much you know.
Sure. That's true. Now, you're working with SciTech Nutrition. Obviously, they're your supplement sponsor. You have Monster Clothing as your clothing sponsor.
Yes.
Is Maxx Charles living the dream right now, the bodybuilding dream?
Dream. I'm living life.
Yeah.
I don't live a dream. I'm living life.
Right. But isn't this like, the dream of every up-and-coming bodybuilder? I want to be a pro bodybuilder. I want to have a supplements sponsor. I want to have people who believe in me.
I wouldn't say, well, I think I'm living the way that I would like to live. I wouldn't say dream, because I think when you say you're living a dream, it's almost like everything in life is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I don't really think everything in life is fantastic. I think I'm making the best of everything that I got, and I got a great sponsor, SciTech, and life is pretty good.
Can Maxx Charles become Mr. Olympia?
Are you kidding me? Yeah, without a doubt.
I'm
very confident about that.
You are.
I would not stutter when I say that. I think I'm very surprised that you even asked that. You should know. I'm kidding.
What do you see for yourself next year? What's the goal?
Next year?
Yeah.
I'll be on the Olympia stage. I think this year I'm hoping for top 10, but next year I'm gunning for the title.
All right, that's a lofty goal.
And I'm not stuttering, just.
No, I believe you. I believe you. Max, you delivered. We've talked over the years, and you know what? You've always delivered on everything you said you were going to do, and I've seen you evolve from a guy who knew nothing into a seasoned, veteran now of the stage.
Everybody have a beginning, and I'm not ashamed of. I would never be ashamed to admit something I don't know. In the beginning, honestly, I didn't know anything, but now, step by step, I'm learning and getting better.
Are you still improving?
Of course.
What did you weigh in this past Tampa show?
I was huge.
Yeah, no numbers.
Yeah, no numbers.
Well, Max, it was my pleasure to talk to you tonight, and I want to congratulate you on the Tampa Pro win, and great luck at the Olympia.
Thank you.
All right, Dave Palumbo for another episode of Live With. We'll see you next week.